Have one?
Yeah.
You actually have one?
Yeah.
Well,
Excelsior!
No, don't do. No, do it when you.
what was that?
Are we live? We're live now?
Oh, we're live. Yeah.
Look who's Tricky Dicky over here.
Oh, it sounds like Standor. Tricky Dicky.
Oh.
So what do we got here, Andrew?
Today is
Oh, it's
Friday.
Fridays.
It's not Thursday. It's not Saturday. We're here on Friday. We're here with Frank,
Mr. Yeah.
Penelope,
Post up.
me, and
Andrew.
Andrew.
I didn't know if you were okay, whatever.
It doesn't matter. And Standor.
And Standor.
We're going to start off talking about Standor.
So a convention exclusive. I'm not sure if it was a shared exclusive. Like it might have been at San Diego, but I believe it was made. And I didn't look this up, but I probably should have. I believed it was made for Stan Lee's personal convention. I think it's called PalCon or something like that. Or PalCon Los Angeles. And stuff.
I bet someone else came up with that name for that convention.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. So Mattel was presenting at whatever this convention was.
Now, how old? This is an older figure.
Yeah, pretty. I would
It's
say
97 or something.
No, not
in a vintage 70s. No,
I'm hilarious.
I'm pretty sure.
I got it.
I think Horde Prime came out in 2015.
Okay, so it's got some age.
Yeah,
on it.
a little. It's got a little.
Couple years old.
Maybe 14. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, I'm trying to find some kind of.
We're
display.
looking at the figure.
Yeah.
And it's a nice figure from the neck down. Now, we said that about a few girls in my life.
Oh, my God.
I'm kidding.
Jesus. So Standor is a butterface.
Not with it. Go to the Andrew and Penelope camp.
Save me on that.
Can we go to
Sorry,
Andrew and Penelope?
Andrew camp.
No, not with it. Andrew
Okay,
Penelope
but his
camp.
face.
Yeah, well, so he just looks like a random guy. You know, he looks like.
You don't think the glasses are over? I mean, he looks a little ridiculous.
No, you know, I
Can
don't.
I be
Yeah.
100% honest right here? It's stupid.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know.
All right.
Just he
It's
just
stupid.
He just dressed as like a random guy from New York. I don't really, you know, with a face. I mean.
Oh yeah, last time we were in New York, we saw a lot of guys rolling out.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I don't really, you know, I don't know who this is supposed to be. It was a weird exclusive for Stan Lee's convention
Because he has no connection to
all right, yeah.
motion.
Yeah.
No, matter of fact, if anything, DC has more of a connection than anything
the
Marvel.
comic book.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's
Which would have made sense, right?
Sure.
So if they had done
Well, one of the first things He-Man did was fight Superman.
right in the
What-
comic
yeah.
book, right?
hence the oh no, we don't have it
The
anymore.
team up.
We had
Right.
you know those
DC.
they did like 4 of these figures matched in with the
Right.
DC Universe Classics.
All right,
figure.
we got a lot to ground to cover
So
today.
let's-
Okay,
Give me
So they made this Standor character, I know, based on, I don't know, somebody. And, you know, they gave him, like, sort of, they need to integrate him with the Masters of the universe. So they gave him a little bio, just like, glance at the bio.
Because he wasn't actually a Master Universe character.
Sure, yeah. You know, original character. They did a lot of these. They did Molar, the attorney and dentist.
Yeah.
They did a lot of characters like that.
All right, so give us his bio.
Standor, before time began, the great gods of the multiverse convened in the Hall of Powers to create all that was and all that ever be. And the one who would consume it all is Standor, a feastor of dreams and life. Standor goes into the imaginations of others, taking the raw energies of their raw creative force and feasting it for his
now.
own consumption.
What was the name of some of the planets that he devastated in his lifetime?
Well, let's see. They have Ditkamus and Kirby Prime.
So he's a slayer of dreams and imagination.
Slayers of dreams and life.
Was he Slayer or is he just sucking he takes credit for it?
Well, no, I think he I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm talking about fiction here.
Oh, okay,
you know,
yeah.
not connected to anything legally or distinguishably.
Right.
You know, so it's like,
But he's the sucker of
yeah,
imagination.
sure, the taker of life force and energies, where he takes it to his home planet of Marvelia.
Fantastic. Okay.
Andrew, that was awesome.
That was awesome. Okay. And
I'm just reading what's on the bio.
well, oh, I know.
Yeah.
And so all of Kirbydom and what was it?
Kirby
Kirby
Prime,
Prime.
and Dick Cotimus.
Dicotimus are dead.
Yeah, they're barren wastelands.
Their families. Are their families getting any compensation?
No,
from
Frank, without dreams in life, there's just, you know, on these
Wastelands,
planets,
yeah.
these wastelands, you see these
Now,
dried
the
up
Road
carcasses,
Warrior wastelands.
you know, with no action figure royalties to speak of.
What is everybody like in Standor's universe?
Well, it's the Master universe.
Oh, okay.
You know,
All right.
he's hanging out with Skeletor and He-Man.
Smoking jacket.
You know,
He's hanging out with everyone, actually.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Matter of fact, I heard he was making appearances in like and Shira's.
And Shira's cat.
I mean,
He does signings.
well, I was gonna say is he, no, never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
All right.
All right.
Basically, we got Standor in.
I have some things to add a little bit.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm Googling. It's Kamikaze Expo is the name of his convention.
And that is exclusive for that.
It was exclusive for Kamikaze Expo. I missed the year. POW Entertainment is his personal company, and they were partnering up.
So I was close.
It's part of a
PowCon,
Masters of the Universe POW
Crossover.
thing.
Yeah, sure.
Crossover.
Sure.
I'm normally really lenient with fun stuff like this, but this is just stupid.
Okay. What's our take on it? We're coming to an end. We've got a lot to do.
Sure. Really quick. You're Mattel. You're going to be at Kamikaze. You want something there to present.
Okay. That being said, overall, how does fandom feel about it? You love this line.
Yeah,
you have this figure in your personal.
Everyone thought it was I do not personally. Everyone thought this was a joke initially.
Okay.
And people hate that. The one thing, the unique thing about this, but they love the costume. They love the design.
So what are they doing?
So if you go to Shapeways and a lot of other sites like that, you can get a head that will fit this body.
On the cool body.
And, it'll be a generic alien Motu.
Okay, so you get
head,
that's
and you
cool.
take
Get
the head.
because that fucking head is terrible.
That's terrible. That's
Jesus
just fucking terrible.
Christ.
I'm with Penelope.
reading
It's
a few,
stupid.
It's stupid. I'm reading a few articles, and
It's
as
a
you
good
mentioned,
costume.
what do fans think?
Right.
Overall, it seems to me that a lot of people just feel like this was very tone deaf and very cash grab. And the fact that even the armor of the figure is kind of Kirby-ish.
Right.
It's
Right.
almost like a shit right on Jack again.
Sure.
So.
Right.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm telling you. A lot of those custom heads are very Kirby.
Because honestly, it's what's so funny? If they had done a tribute to Jack and done this figure, somehow I'm good for anything that promotes Jack.
Yeah.
Sure, but
this fuck.
No one would have bought it, though.
Yeah, I know.
If it was
I
at
know.
Comic-Con, if it was
I
at
get
Stan
it.
Lee's
I get
convention,
it. I get it.
you would
But-
do the Jack
All
homage
right,
at
so
Comic-Con.
we're gonna take.
If believe me, Stan would have let a Jack go out if Stan was going to get credit for it,
Yes.
make some money on it.
We're gonna take. We're
He's
gonna
like,
take
I wanted
Standor
to
and
Put him
honor
back
my
in his
friend.
goddamn
back in his
box.
goddamn
Jack-
box that he
The
stole
best
from
of the
Dicko Dome.
best.
Yeah.
That being said, this will be available for sale on eBay. Please,
Yes,
so take a look at
yes. If you need it, we can bring it in here.
Yeah.
So no one liked it at the time.
Or now.
Well, apparently
Or
it's doing what I
It's
just heard.
doing okay. Yeah.
Because collectors are jackasses.
No, but hold on,
and we're completers.
Really quick, I just want to say
Wait till
correct
mine
term-
sells
that
before
thing
you're
was on.
on.
That thing was on.
Settle.
There was a time where that thing was on clearance at MattyCollector.com for $16.60 or something.
I believe it.
The correct term is not jackasses, Justin. It's completists.
Yeah,
who
that's
like
what I
to
am.
have all
I
the-
resemble that remark.
Okay.
So what do you got there, Frank?
Switching gears.
I'm switching gears because we got a lot
Yeah,
to come
sure.
out with. We had a collection walk in the other day. The three of us four of us sat down and we were able to price it. Some Big Hammer books. It was an original owner collection, and a lot of the stuff was not in the greatest shape. But we'll take early Spider-Man
Silver Age.
Yeah, Silver Age.
I like that. I like silver.
Okay, so we're gonna let you know these books are priced. They'll be in the case. They're for sale. We have number 10, Spidey. It's what did we grade it? We gave it a good. And it is the first appearance of the Enforcer.
Really quick movie tidbit. Montana actually appeared in the MCU. He's the guy who dies at the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming.
Little trivia there.
Remember the first Shocker guy, and then it's the other Shocker?
Yes.
Yeah, he's Montana.
Wow.
Oh.
Good trivia. Huh?
How about that?
Another book that came in.
First
and,
Rhino.
A little, not really expensive, but this book has got a bullet on it. It just keeps going up. When we opened the store 10, 11 years ago, it was a $30, $40 book. Like all things Spider-Man, it's just a blue chip investment.
So
we're looking at a solid VG first appearance.
You
of the
could
Rhino.
say this issue's price value is like the Rhino itself, in that you cannot stop it.
Oh,
Okay.
It's going forward.
All right,
Andrew,
now
that joke was as good as Standor, the figure.
Obscure, a little bit of an obscure book because the cover makes no mention of it. Spider-Man 42. Just who's the first appearance of?
It's the first full appearance of Mary Jane Watson.
And what does she say, Andrew?
Face it, Tiger, you hit the jackpot.
Classic line.
That's exactly what you said to me.
Always.
Always.
Wait, wait, hold on, really quick though, because there is another thing. Okay, no, never mind.
Go.
I didn't.
Well,
Go ahead.
it's like the introduction of Mary Jane was obviously significant. But one thing that struck a lot of guys is that, because Ditko drew weird people and Romita drew a lot of attractive people.
He did.
So it's like, the introduction of Mary Jane as this, beautiful, really gorgeous woman in Romita's art was, it was like a tone shift.
It was because Steve and Jack were never known for drawing beautiful women. Romita, obviously, a more
Or
traditional,
men.
or well, no. Well, see, look, man. Let's go back to number 10. Yeah, that's wrong, but there's something very. That's actually Jack
It's a cool
Kirby.
is it
That's
really?
not a Ditko cover. Yeah, that's a Jack Kirby Spider-Man, if I recall. And as can be shown, you
I
can
like
see by
the webbing. Is that?
Yeah,
Did
That
that,
was
come
original.
and go?
that came and went. Yeah, depending on how much they were paying them per page that week.
Shout out to Dan who hates everything,
First
hates the web
enforcers, first Rhino. Now look, we got a whole run of Spider-Man in. This is us showcasing some of the keys.
Yeah.
And we got around to pricing them. First Mary Jane.
So that being said, real quick on Mary Jane, I didn't realize she was cocky.
Oh yeah.
Like,
And yeah, she was the.
I always thought she was girl next door.
No,
that's
no.
Gwen.
That's Gwen.
Oh, I didn't read the books.
Yeah,
I'm telling ya.
You're on your
Okay.
comic
It's like
journey.
Betty and Veronica.
Yes,
Like, you know,
great way to put
yeah,
it.
sure. You know, Gwen is well. First off, they're both two great characters. But no, you know, Gwen is a little bit more bookish, a little bit more like I don't want to say geeky.
Traditional,
Yeah.
more of that era.
Yeah, and then Mary Jane was like sort of like a more like.
You won't
Mary
get-
Jane should have been dancing in the video for Hang On Sloopy.
Right. Mary Jane was
Obsessed
more
with the
of.
music video.
Do you remember the
You
show?
missed it.
Now, this is a. Yeah, I love the thing. This is a bad reference because I don't know how much our audience. Remember that show, That Girl?
Nope.
Mary Tyler Moore.
Woo!
Yeah,
You're
okay.
taking it back now, boy.
Yeah, all right. So we're gonna split.
With the record player.
all right.
Another key book.
Yep.
A lot of wear. It's priced for the guy who wants to get a key but doesn't want to spend
'Cause it's a big
thousands
book.
of dollars.
Right.
Why is it such a big book, Josh?
Because it's the first Kingpin.
Yes. First Kingpin.
And also, I mean, the second Tobey Maguire movie took a lot of cues from this with giving up the Spider-Man powers.
Right. That
Put it- yeah,
scene.
that-
The cover is just
Right. The
I
total
love
icon. So we have another one of these graded. I think it's a 5.5, which is, you know, not everybody can pay that, but this is good if you want to put this in your Spider-Man collection for not a ton of money. It's a reader, we would call
We
it.
call it, well, let's look at this. You got a reader. You got the first Mary Jane reader. Yeah, that's a little Christmas present, Mom.
Right.
And another key. I mean, we're looking at all keys here. This is. Go ahead. You want to shoot with that?
What I was
going
gonna say about it was about Kingpin. Because like the thing is like a lot of people associate Kingpin with Daredevil, especially after the Ben Affleck movie and the new TV show on Netflix. You know, he did start off as a Spider-Man rogue, and that was like something that Marvel was. I don't want to say they were known for, but they did a lot. Was they shifted adversaries?
Which gave him
Sabretooth
so much of a better thing over DC.
Sabretooth did not start off as a Wolverine villain.
No,
He was either
Iron Fist.
right,
Which really blew me away.
Iron Fist 14.
Kingpin in Spider-Man, Punisher in Spider-Man, that all makes sense to me because
the universe is flat open.
it's the New York streets.
Yeah.
It's the streets of New York, so that makes sense to me that they all overlap and are
100%.
introduced.
Well, I just think it's interesting. You know, Sabretooth's synonymous with Wolverine in some. If you say Sabretooth,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me in the Iron Fist universe.
Well, that was retcon. That was
in
all
some
added.
canon, they're related, right?
Yes, in some versions they're
But
brothers.
you got to remember, when he was introduced, Sabretooth was just a
A
bad
mercenary.
guy. Yeah,
Bad
yeah,
guy.
just a bad guy.
Was he even a mutant when he first
We
came
don't
in Iron
know.
Fist?
Was Wolverine a mutant when he first?
Oh,
you
fair.
know, we don't know. Okay, another key and one of my favorite John Romita covers of all time. Big book number 100 is tell me that's not. Imagine being a kid on the stand and seeing that.
That
cover.
looks like a Milo Manara
So that's
cover.
all the
That's just
that's all the characters behind him. There's Jay Jonah,
You guys digging the cover, or is it just me?
Kingpin.
I love that cover.
No, it's called Craven.
Doom,
So by this point, everyone's introduced
Aunt May, Goblin.
for the most part.
There's
I mean,
something
obviously, there's no Venom.
Very cool. There's something very cool at the last page. of
No
this
tater
book.
tots.
Another reader, but what's really cool is it's the Spider-Man gets 6 arms, which sounds really whacked, but the storyline's great. Fantastic Gil Kane art.
Does he have 6 arms like Spider-Man? Does he look have 6 arms where he's
No,
the big bug creature?
No,
looking thing?
6
That
arms.
came later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that came
And,
later.
yeah, that was
Alright.
another retcon, I believe, of connecting that to that.
Okay.
Right. We got another key, and this is a big key. It's a shame that this book is a reader.
Yeah.
This is the first appearance of the Sinister Six and the first time that they all get together to beat their common enemy.
So
Spider-Man.
at this point,
Early,
where all
too.
those characters had already been introduced,
Yes.
it's just the first time they team up as the Sinister
Yeah,
Six.
hey, we're getting our butts kicked by damn Spider-Man. Let's get together.
Doc Ock's idea, too, if I believe.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, it's
so,
like, you know, I
and
will
it
lead
is,
the Sinister Six.
Yes, it's got a classic Ditko
Thanks,
cover. You got it
Again with the webbing on the
Again,
legs.
yeah,
something like
Steve was not John, but there's something very magical about that. He almost looks spider-like.
Wait, how far are you in Spider-Man PS4, Justin?
I've taken a break.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Okay, another reader for a guy who just wants to add something to his, without going broke. Daredevil,
Speaking of Daredevil
2.
and speaking of villains crossing over,
Right, Electro.
Electro was introduced in Spider-Man 9, which we have on the wall, and he goes over into the Daredevil universe. What's cool about that is early yellow costume. This was done because in the old days when you handed in the comics to get credit for it, they would rip off the top, turn it in.
So in other words, this comic didn't sell on the newsstand.
Yep.
So to get credit, the newsstand guy had to cut it and send it back to Marvel to get credit for it.
And he made a contract that he would throw this book out. He didn't. They usually ended up at flea markets.
Yep.
Berlin Market. Remember that, guys?
Wait, hold on, really quick. Can we take a table poll? I hate yellow costume Daredevil. I hate that costume.
I don't know if hate's a word I would use. I'm indifferent. I like red, but
I'm not a fan. But
I'm not against it.
It never worked for me. It never worked
I
for me.
prefer.
why would a
red.
blind guy choose those colors?
Yeah.
Obviously, he was blind, Andrew. I mean,
Maybe
come
he's
on,
color-
Andrew.
He's colorblind.
Jesus, Andrew.
Everything
Wow. I
blind.
mean,
Man, how are you judging a guy for the colors he
How
chooses?
un-PC is that?
I'm sorry.
How un-PC
Andrew.
is that?
Well, you know what? How on PC you guys are being?
Why are
You're
you pointing at
assuming
me?
because he's blind, he doesn't have great fashion sense. That's a
No,
Yes,
that's what
I'm
you're.
assuming that.
Look at you. You're the really.
His
you're the
colors.
real-
I can't believe you see
Don't
color.
try to trump me. He's trying to switch it
Yeah.
over on me.
Yeah.
All right, are we done with this?
Yes.
All right. This didn't come from the same collection, but we got some nice. This is some books we're very proud. My favorite comic of all time, and I can't recommend it enough. If you have a collection and this isn't in there, you're not a true comic fan. You heard that? You're not a true comic
hold
fan.
on.
If you're reading
Back
Little
to me.
Elves, I'm sorry.
Oh,
all right.
No, if
What's
listen,
Little
I'm gonna.
Elves?
His little Wolfie, little midget
Cool.
comic. What are those guys
They're
called?
not
You
just
literally
little people.
pops.
You literally sound like a deranged grandfather
You
right
do.
now, which in
All
some
right.
ways is a perfect.
I think Chibi.
Back to me. Back to me.
Okay,
back
go
to
ahead.
me. Back
If
to
this
me.
isn't in your
Listen,
collection, you're not a comic fan.
for Batman fans, for Superman fans,
Nope.
sure, but there's a lot of people. Do you have Doonesbury in your collection, Frank? Do you have Doonesbury?
I actually have a. Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Look
I do
at
have
my
Doonesbury.
feet. Well,
Wow.
My point is, I'm just saying
Okay.
the history of comic books is long and big, and people can collect whatever kind of milestones or genre they want.
Come to me. He's of a generation.
Oh, here we go.
That
I have that in my
that
collection.
has no balls.
I have that in my collection.
So, no, I'm gonna take.
No, he's on now.
Can I interject when Frank's done?
all right,
No,
when he's done.
This needs
He's out of the
Settle.
cage now. He's out of the
This
cage.
has nothing to do with loving or hating Batman. This has to do if you love the media and you really want to know a point. Everything you watch on Marvel and movies today came from this book. The ideas, the concepts. It took this medium of the blind yellow suit guy, good guy, bad guy, and brought it into reality. If you haven't read it and you don't own it, you're missing out on a historic moment in comic books. And we have the first issue, first print,
You know what? No,
Which is
Frank.
which is
It's
beautiful.
my turn. I'm going to
Oh,
interject
sure.
here.
Yes, please.
I am between these two guys on their opinion here. And
Whoa.
And I'm going to explain what they're both trying to say in a non-PC way. Andrew is a little upset, I believe, at Frank for being what I would consider a gatekeeper of comicdom.
Sure.
Is that accurate?
Sure. That's fair.
And what that means is, like, you're not a real comic fan if you haven't read this book 16 times and have it tattooed on your chest.
Is that an impression of Frank?
No,
that guy. Okay.
No.
I'm feeling that. I'm feeling
I'm
that.
not. Stop.
I want to be that
Back
guy.
to me.
I'm
Back
that
to
guy.
me.
Go back to her. Go back to her.
Back to me. Back to
All
me.
right.
So that was the gatekeeper asshole voice, not a Frank impression. And Andrew is fearful that Frank is gatekeeping in that manner, which I don't believe Frank is. The point that Frank is trying to make, in my opinion,
Why do I have to have that book if I am the comic collector?
That's not what I'm saying.
it's my turn. I have the conch, guys. I have the conch.
She has the conch.
So,
Okay.
so I believe what Frank is trying to say is, if you are interested in the medium of comics, if you're interested in the history of the medium of comics, where comics have been, where they are going, what will be hot tomorrow is currently hot now in comic form. This is a thing you should be reading, have read, have in your collection, own, know.
Trade paperback.
So,
If you consider yourself
Well, no. All right.
a fan of music and you love music,
Yes.
people tend to start digging back who influenced your bands, who
Right.
influenced the bands you love.
Right. What a great comparison.
You end up at certain points in music history
appreciating.
Right.
There's a period before.
Right.
And then
this
later
is digging back from whatever you're into and realizing that the
There's a
Beatles
brand
had
new
come
universe.
before, or one of those seminal
Yes.
bands or seminal.
Whether you're reading
Moments.
Little
Moments
Wolfie
with
or
Bryce.
reading a current Batman Damned
The
#2.
comic isn't called
So
Little Wolfie.
because of this, Little Wolfie exists.
Probably. No.
No. In
I was
spite
speaking,
of.
I was
In
speaking
spite
in
of
broad
this.
terms. I was
Right,
speaking
right.
in
I'm sure I
broad
can
terms.
I can connect Little Wolfie with Frankie. if I
but
really wanted
here's
to.
the thing that's so funny. When I say that,
Have you read a Little Wolfie book?
no, I haven't.
He's exhausted. Well, no, Frank.
No,
hold on.
let me.
right.
Because of what he read, this book was so pivotal. 1986 when it came out. A lot of what he does read is influenced by this without it even knowing it.
Sure.
Because the medium went in a direction. The first time
Grew up.
Yeah, right. What was what's the Beatles album that where people say I heard it and it just blew?
Rubber Soul kind of
The
revolver
next
when they
one-
started
what's the next
changing.
one, though?
Sgt. Pepper's?
Sgt. Pepper came
Right.
out, and music sort of went this way all of a sudden. This is the book where people started looking.
So is this
at-
before Watchmen?
This is right in that period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
not-
not. I'm not. I actually.
But it's not
believe-
pre-Squadron Supreme, right? Squadron Supreme came out first.
Oh, we're getting too deep now.
It's nothing like this, though, man. The impact. See, I lived it. Having, I can't say I.
You don't know nothing, Little Wolfie.
That's right. Having lived this,
Squadron Supreme's good.
I went to comic shops, and all of a sudden, people and creators started thinking we can do something different with the media.
So let me ask you a question, because
I
you
think
were
it's
you were
worth
reading
watching,
it.
yeah.
You were reading it when it hit.
Yep.
Was there
Vertigo
groups
wouldn't
of
have happened without this
I have the
book.
conch.
Sorry?
Were there people standing around talking like, "Oh my God"?
Yes, yeah.
That
Actually, here's what it was, and I'm going to curse here. Fuck, I didn't order it. Can you get me one? Because you were a Batman guy. I ordered it. I pre-ordered it, right? And I had one. I ended up. You should see how beat it is now. Because you didn't. It wasn't about the money. It was like, bro,
you have
you
to read
have
this.
to read this.
So you were probably giving it to friends who didn't really even read comic
I gave it
books,
to my friends in high school.
who didn't even read comic books.
No, they were
probably.
comic guys, but they had missed it because they weren't DC guys.
Yeah.
They weren't. I was a Miller guy, so I ordered.
So would
it.
you is Little Wolfie a seminal part of comicdom now?
If I wanted to say, I don't. First off, I don't.
We're
know.
just making fun of
We're not
Andrew with
gonna
Little
know
Wolfie.
until 2
Right,
years
yeah.
on it. Honestly, we'll know if he gets a Marvel Legends. That's a legend. That's the 100% way to know if you've made it in.
They're
in the
going to make a
comic.
Marvel Legend of everything.
No, not necessarily.
All right,
I know.
We're moving on.
Moving
back
on.
to
No, hold on,
historic
wait a second. I wanted to say though,
Andrew has the
you
knowledge.
phrased it in a way that I really, really liked. Like before we got into real debate, you said missing out. I feel like it's not. You're not a real fan if you don't have it. You're missing out on a
It's
history.
a great way to put it.
It's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
It's a more
you know,
inclusive way.
You can be a
to say it.
poli-sci person only reading.
Is
modern
Frank
things.
missing out
No,
for not reading
No.
Little Wolfie?
no, because it's not his taste. Because
No, but in all fairness, Andrew hooked me up with the new.
What is the little movie book again?
it's Exiles.
Okay, excellent.
You're missing. I'll say you're missing out not reading Snagglepuss. No, 100%.
I will never read Snap.
I know you will.
I never read the comic with the horn guy.
Do you
What was
respect
it?
Andrew's opinion?
I did. What
You're
was
talking
the
about
horn guy?
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet
I
Tooth.
never read Sweet Tooth either,
Yeah.
and I still
You
have
read
my
Underwater
comic.
Welder. You read
He's
Underwater
like
Welder.
an old right wing.
Yeah, no,
No,
left
he's not.
wing,
Don't-
left
don't-
wing, yeah,
No,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know you are, but in
Comic
comicdom,
yeah,
you
yeah,
act
yeah.
like the
I,
old like.
we need Bill here. I need Frankenstein here to back me up on some of this
You
stuff.
think Bill would read any of that?
No. Here, Bill, here's Sweet Tooth. He'd be like, look, I've been doing this long time, man. Take your Sweet Tooth and chuck it. Last on our books for sale, and one of Andrew's favorite characters, two of my favorite
Love 'em.
movies. We all love. We love
Wait,
those
hold on, real
movies.
quick. A case where the sequel is better than the first movie.
Arguably. I love them both. So what is this, Andrew? Let's talk about that. Why is that book important?
Then
It's
we
next-
This is
Yeah.
John Burns' Next Men, #3.
Which features
Hellboy.
first appearance of the Hellboy.
Well, wait, hold on. Now I've seen some. Now this is a bit of history. I actually don't know. I've seen it says Hellboy first in color.
Yes.
Yes.
There
Okay.
was an SDCC.
Sketch kind of
Okay.
It's
thing.
like a
This is yeah.
promo stuff coming out soon kind
Right.
of thing.
It's the first really big published. The original, the SDCC one was a very low publishing
Same way
thing.
how people
Exactly.
say 180 is Wolverine's first appearance.
Right.
No,
Right.
because 180 was published. It was
Yeah.
Right.
This
But-
was sort of like an SDCC
But this is
promo,
basically
Dark Horse
considered, if you collect Hellboy, this is a book that is kind of referenced throughout the community as the first true appearance.
Yeah, sure.
And one of the greatest characters of the era.
And
90s at
One
its
of the
peak.
most long-running independent
He's even
series.
depressing. Which makes him perfect. I hear Nirvana when I read these books. All right.
It was the 90s, man.
It was the 90s.
It was the
So
90s.
let's talk about this art for a second.
Magnolia.
Look
Mike.
at that stark. It's
Is it
hard.
Magnola or
My
Magnolia?
phone kind
Magnola,
of
I
sucks.
don't
know.
but
He doesn't pronounce anyone's name right.
No, I don't.
Neither do I.
the stark
we're
shadow.
useless.
It's just so nice.
I call President
Oh, God.
I can't pronounce the name
You
right.
mean Trump?
Yeah, Trump.
Guys,
All right.
Sorry.
So anyway, all these books will be here for sale. Oh shit! I did forget one other book that came in. There's this guy who puts a fishbowl on his head.
oh, that's right.
And-
He's going to be in a movie.
Remember?
Yeah, he's going to be in a movie. It's an
Oh, is
expensive.
that Donnie Darko comic we got?
That's not a reader. We're very proud to have this book. It's the first
No, it's
appearance
Brokeback
of
Mountain.
Mysterio.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Steve Ditko, classic. This book is hot.
Look at that.
Let's be honest,
Awesome
Justin.
art.
Our price is not cheap,
Nope.
but it's a beautiful, gorgeous, solid.
We don't
fine
mind
copy.
I don't
it
touch
staying
I
on
just
the
wanna look
wall.
No, yeah. Take a look at the copy.
Yeah, I can't touch
Have
it.
you
I can
ever
just look
seen
at
a
it.
comic book hero go to a psychiatrist? You
We-
will now.
If you don't come and buy it, we don't mind.
We don't mind. It's white, which usually they tend to
Yellow,
turn
yeah.
yellow. If you
Very,
look online,
there's no chipping.
no Marvel, classic Marvel chipping. By then, we're starting to go. If anything, it's the black where you
Yeah.
have. But if you go online, this is a solid fine VF book, gorgeous copy, priced at the upper end of the market.
We're probably sending it to get graded.
we're probably going to send it to get graded. It's here. It is what it is. It's not a reader. It's a top of the line,
Wow.
top of the
This
food
is-
chain right now. One of the hottest books out there because the rumors are.
It's not a rumor.
It's
It's-
it's not confirmed either.
Oh, it's not
Confirmed,
confirmed.
It's not.
No.
Well, it's
Oh.
confirmed he's in the movie. His role is not announced, but some stuff was seen that's pretty indicative that rumors are true.
Okay.
Like a
Fair
cape and like costume that looks exactly like what a Mysterio MCU costume would look like.
Right. Okay, so we're wrapping that up real
Good
quick.
stuff.
Good stuff. We'll
Great reads.
let's finish the comic then real quick.
Sure.
All right. Just wanted to point out that having been an old school comic guy, Andrew's going to point something out. Literally, when we opened the original store 11 years ago, these books, I found price tags on them. They were no more than $10 a piece, which is really wow. In the last decade, because of
Because
The-
films and
All-
television and new media.
and new media,
All of these guys have movie adaptations. All these guys and gals.
yes,
Some of which have been in movies since 2001.
yep,
Because what is this, Frank? This is Miss Marvel, Miss Marvel 18, first appearance of
Mystique.
Mystique. Another instance of a character debuting in a series that wouldn't be the series in
At all. She's so known for X-Men.
So
Now,
X-Men.
why is Eternals a hot book right now?
Eternals is on the Phase 4 marquee for the next MCU films post Infinity War.
Guys, you couldn't get $1 for this book
Yeah.
10 years ago. I mean, it was in dollar bins. I think that particular copy, a nice near mint, ungraded, is 75 to 100 now.
Can I talk about speculation and rumors really quick? This is not substantiated.
Stay on target.
This is Eternals.
Good, go ahead.
The rumor is that the X-Men will debut in the Eternals movie.
So it's going to be.
I don't.
All right, let's clarify that. The X-Men who were previously owned by Fox, who are now going to be part of the MCU, there's a rumor they're going to be in the Eternals movie.
So this book's smoking.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
I just got the chills thinking about the X-Men in the MCU.
Yeah. Again,
me too.
Eternals is so far out that a lot of what we know about it might either be total
Speculation,
BS,
right.
or it could be like.
But just on speculation, the market is moving.
Yeah, 100%.
This book was a
Well,
dollar
speculation
book.
is what moves the
Here's
market.
we already saw Celestial in Guardians 1.
Right.
So the promise of more of that
Is
Oh, explain that. So the Celestial Nowhere.
Yeah. So that skull is a celestial. The Celestials are we've seen the Guardians movies. They're these immortal, super powerful, godlike beings. The only beings who are able to harness the power of the Infinity Stones and not be harmed from
So
it.
that head of the Celestial is the same thing as Ego?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
All right.
Well, Ego was in the Celestial in the comics, but yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing.
Ego was a planet in the
Yeah,
comics.
so the Celestials created the Eternals, kind of. So they're kind of interwoven in their histories together.
Right. And this
Exciting.
book, we know that she's one of the hottest characters out.
Yep.
And this
Yeah.
features the first appearance of a character now owned by
Marvel.
Marvel,
And-
who's already popular.
Well, here's the, Mystique really kind of, Mystique was always a popular villain. She kind of blew up in 2011 forward because she was played by Jennifer Lawrence.
Put J-Law into a costume.
Right.
I got to tell you, I like Rebecca Romaine.
I'm okay with both of them as actresses. They're great actresses.
Yeah.
Both comic. And we know why this book's hot.
Yeah.
Because Black Panther has went from a D character, arguably, to a very minor Marvel character to an A-lister.
Yep.
He's
Is it still the most profitable Marvel movie?
I don't.
It was no. The most popular Marvel movie that's not a sequel.
Profitable.
Oh yeah, that's no.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like that's not a sequel.
Okay.
I don't know. Like that.
So my point is, guys, things that are not, I'm sitting here making fun of little X-Men Exiles. If there's a rumor that Exiles is going to be a movie, speculation jumps immediately.
Well, what is Blink's first appearance? Blink was on The Gifted, so what's that first appearance?
This was just an example of where the market is taking.
Yeah, but think about Age of Apocalypse 3. That's probably like a 3-cent book or something like that. Now like wherever Blink first appeared,
right?
Now
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
I'm sure that's doing like
I'm sure, and I love the character. Even from the Days of Future Past, she's
in there too.
So,
Bishop's in there.
Obviously,
if you're in a movie, Negasonic Teen Warhead, that's a great example. In Deadpool 1.
She was never a comic book character before that.
Yeah, she was. She had the name. It was a completely different type of character. The name was all that was kind of there. She had a different set of powers. She was a comic book character.
Should have just let it go.
Her comic was $4. When Deadpool came out, it went from 40 and then up.
See?
So I don't know what she's doing.
What we're trying to say is, if you're collecting comics and you're on the edge of that, if you're on the edge of that speculation, you definitely want to realize that the media frenzy, the movies, online is affecting comics like never before. There's a lot of gold waiting to be discovered out there.
Harley Quinn's first appearance. That's another great example.
Well, that book's been solid for a decade now.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was enough. It was $1 book, all day long. Okay, Andrew's got some figures, and then we're going to switch back to the. We're rolling, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a long Fridays with Andrew. We're about halfway through. I would say.
Well, we'll do so. Like,
speaking of
Negasonic Teenage Warheads, first appearance was in New X-Men number 115, August 2001.
I will accept my apology in writing.
No apology.
Wait, what?
Because she's named after a Monster Magnet. They had to take because the Monster Magnet song is before 2001.
Grant Morrison names a lot of his stuff off music.
Okay.
Yeah, she is named after that song.
Okay, that's where I was going.
That doesn't make her not a character.
No. I'm sorry.
I'm with Andrew. I'm not getting your point.
All right, never mind.
Super. So,
I got
great.
you.
So, Marvel Legends.
Just came in. We got them a little late, right? We were like a week late with them because of our shipping.
Yeah.
But we do have them in stock. What's cool about these...
Oh my gosh, I just noticed.
What?
They still have this. I didn't know this. They still have the sticker.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's cool about both these sets, Justin? Tell me. What's when you were doing Joe's? Why did you love these?
Well, they didn't actually do these kind of sets for Joe, especially then. They do a couple more now, but these are specifically Army Builder sets. And if I'm lucky, I don't collect Marvel Legends because I would need 10 of each of these. Because I'm a disgusting sick. A minimum, totally, because these even have different heads. Right. So you can have so many different armies of these guys. Awesome.
We crap on Hasbro a lot for parts reuse, right?
Well, they knew what they were doing here.
I think there's some really clever parts reuse.
Let's tell me about them.
Captain Britain head. Nuke's head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absorbing Man's head, I'm pretty sure.
That's the build-a-figure head guy, isn't it?
No, that's Taskmaster.
Oh, Taskmaster. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. So like, over here, that was Scourge.
Yes.
Scourge of the Underworld. His head. I don't know. That might be a new head, but like I don't know. Like a lot of parts. Like I think the Tommy gun was from Hammerhead.
They've made that gun multiple times.
Yeah, sure. Well,
we got Punisher's bazooka.
Really, I think like with the painting though, and like in these sets, they have their own identity.
I mean, dude,
that's a Deadpool gun. The aim. Okay, that's a good one. That gun first came out with the Deadpool that came out last year for like an X-Men wave.
But I'm with you, man. I'm kind of glad I'm not collecting Marvel Legends because I would have wanted 10 of each of these. And then when you start comboing up the heads...
Yeah, you can have so many. I'm looking at it now.
We're looking at $1,000 in Army Builders.
In Army Builders.
And with Red Skull in the front of your 30s, Hydra guys.
If they do this in 3 3/4, guys, I might have to bow out of the business.
Are we in any danger? I don't think you're in any danger.
Aren't you just looking at a 70 Challenger?
They do not care about 3. They do not care about 3 3/4 anymore, dude. I
know.
Yeah, all right. So like you are totally safe. Great set.
So somebody's watching who just shot us a heart. by the name of Emily Reed.
Hi, baby. I'm not wearing the thing.
So these are in for stock. We have them for sale.
The bracelet.
Oh. I thought, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
say hi to Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
We can give you a discount.
No.
Andrew wants these for
If
Christmas.
this is plushie or a plot. Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, no, I'm pretty sure she just got my Christmas gift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not 100% sure.
We also just got a huge collection of pops in.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
this will be more your speed, Emily.
Anyway.
What's next?
Wait,
Oh, okay.
Bring it on the table.
Emily, Elastigirl.
You'll have to hold it steady.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
I
what we're
can't
going to
hold
do
anything.
was, I was in our warehouse the other day, and we have stacks and stacks of these, and I just wanted to take a minute to
History. Go back to history.
go and reminisce with you
What
guys.
are they stacks and stacks
These
of?
are action figure news and toy review, which pre-internet was your way of getting news. This and a book called Wizard, which we
If you were a
all
toy
love,
collector.
toys and comics. Sometimes you couldn't wait to get this more than the toys themselves. Because, wow, here was all this information. This is from a time when people actually read
McFarlane rules
printed
the
stuff.
world. Wow.
Yeah, so okay.
That's such a sad headline now.
McFarlane, and the figure,
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, okay,
it
cool. All right,
totally is. This was,
Todd, you're great.
look what made the cover. And I can honestly say, I probably looked at that, and you would have, and said, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, in that picture, it's the Skull Queen from like the Viking. Trying to recap from one of the Viking era Dark Ages Spawn line, and it looks great in the picture. And of course, you would want that toy.
And you'd open it, and you get high from the smell of the plastic,
And you'd immediately break her sword.
and her wings, and
her chain would come undone.
Break in your hand. Yeah.
She would literally break in your hand.
I only have one McFarlane
I guess
toy.
it was before they were.
She wouldn't stand up.
She wouldn't stand up, but man, you were going to every Walmart
But you know
could
what?
to find
Toys did not look like this
No.
before
No.
McFarlane.
In
No.
her defense, if she was a live, living woman wearing those shoes, she wouldn't be able to stand up
Well, no.
anyway.
Talk about like variants and soft
I'm with you.
The Angela, right? The Spawn Angela. Isn't there like an infamous Angela?
I don't know.
There's
So
no infamous everything.
this is from an era when toy collecting started, where people thinking they were going to put their kids through college with some of these toys.
Right, and that's one of the things we want to talk about. First thing that we want to talk about that I pulled some papers out of here so we can move this along quick.
This is Frank's porta potty work.
This is
where he
porta-potty work.
researches.
Yes. Here's one of what I find one of the most, and this is me being serious, one of the most degrading aspects of what happened with action figures in the 90s. Some asshole figured out if you put biggest boobs you could on action figures, and we've seen them on the Witchblade figures of the era. These are the independent figures that were made for some.
Well, even now,
Even
there's
now.
tons of Japanese animated statues.
Yeah, if you go through previews, you see boobs.
There's a whole section
Yeah.
of boob.
Yeah.
of boob
Rob-
figures.
Right.
It was
Real feel rubber boobs. I'm not even.
No,
joking.
I get it. But this is the
Okay.
This is the beginning
He
of
didn't
it.
invent that.
I did it. Oh my gosh.
No, he didn't. This is the beginning of it. Figures like this, and it just kind of got out of hand. And I hate to say it, it stereotypicalized every geek in the world.
Sure.
They were going into to buy their.
You're the sexy Ghostbuster?
Yeah, the limited edition
Well,
thong
I mean, wait,
version.
what is it? Like the 15,000 jokes on Big Bang Theory. Still love you, Emily. Where they'll go like, oh, the sad, lonely.
It was awful.
Oh, they love video games more than women who will have sex with them.
Right, and
Right?
and here's the thing that's really sad.
Ha ha.
One of my one of my favorite parts of these books used to be a thing that they used to call investmentory. So they were going to hype you
They're telling you what figures to buy.
for your future investments.
Right.
Okay,
Buy 3 of these.
Buy
Carded.
5 of
This
these.
is amazing. I can't wait to hear
This I'm going to read.
It's important
some,
information.
actually, do you want to go through it, or you?
Sure.
Okay, you can actually. It's hysterical. You don't have to hit everything, but just.
Got
All right, so we are toy people. We are going to give you our insight as
Okay.
this gets read.
Okay, let me preface. Let's see what's worth anything
Now.
20 years
Yeah.
later.
We'll throw you what the value is now.
Yeah.
All right, first of all, I want to say something. Anything, please, if you watch this whole thing, because if you're watching this and she reads a thing, don't run to your phone and call us and say you have that thing and want to sell it.
We
to
don't
us.
want it.
Because we don't want it.
All right.
So just to be clear, this book is from like maybe 95,
98,
96, 98. Okay, so
Okay.
in 1998, this is what the publishers of Lee's Toy and Action Figure Review thought would be the good investments for your.
So 20 years later,
Yes.
you've got these sitting in your closet.
Okay, so yes. Item number 1. Star Wars Power of the Force 2.
Immediately, we all start laughing.
We start laughing. We'll give you $1 a piece.
No, not anymore even.
No.
Because we have too many.
Right.
Because God, you open the doors of a store like this, and everyone who bought 50 of these in 1998 runs to your door trying to sell them to you.
What were some of the rare figures that people had to have?
The rare figures at the time were Bespin Luke, any of the Ewoks, specifically Wicket and Logray, who were
just
rated,
painful.
They were rated $2 signs.
So you wanted to get the Ewoks for your collection.
While Bespin was $3.
Oh, a Luke Bespin.
Like Bespin with his
The
terrible...
elusive Darth Vader with removable helmet.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, that's a good one.
$3 sign.
Did he have a long saber or a short saber?
It's not polite to ask.
Yeah.
It's not polite to ask.
It's inferred. Did you hear his voice? It's inferred he had a long saber.
Yeah.
Not always.
Great. That was awesome.
Is his saber
all right, so let's...
Ceremonial Luke, original Han, Power X.
So
Power
Star
FX
Wars was
X-Wing.
the hottie
Yeah.
at the 90s.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me tell you then. The last thing you said, does it have a price next to the X-Wing?
$3 signs.
I don't think it's a $3 sign piece.
Out of that's the highest dollar sign.
No,
they
so-
have.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
That's
the
the best
vehicles are the
return for your
only thing
money.
that bring
Yeah.
any kind of money.
Yeah.
Well,
And not serious money.
Because the whole thing about the vehicles, though, you can take modern 3 3/4 inch figures.
No, the whole thing about the vehicles are the exact same molds as the
Of the
original.
original
Okay.
70.
So people who can't afford the original
Or
Kenner molds.
who were
This
kids in
This is
95.
absolutely
Right.
hilarious.
All right, so what's
But
next?
the figures
Let's
are
go-
all absolute,
I
and
knew you
I'm
were gonna find
paraphrasing
these.
famous words here, dog shit.
Right.
They actually have a I don't know if you can zoom in on this. Their price guide is $3 signs is the best return for your investment.
Oh,
$2 signs is
my
above
God.
average.
Dude.
1 is average. There's a question mark, not sure. And then DM stands for a wildly overproduced hunk of plastic that nobody wants. I don't know. DM.
This entire page is DM.
Well, let's
This entire
what's
page
after
so far.
Star Wars?
So
What we got?
we're still on Star Wars, the collector series, 12-inch figures. Han and Hothgear,
All right.
$2 signs. Apple
Just
Driver,
all right.
$3
Skip
signs.
Star Wars.
Can I
We know it's
I
all
have one
dog
Star
shit.
Wars question, because I'm like you guys said, you've lived through certain things.
Right.
I was,
Frank was fighting 400-pound women in the aisles of Toys R Us
I'll tell you that story someday.
for Power of the Force 2 Star
Leia,
Wars.
Princess Leia.
Can I-
I almost got beat for a princess.
One of the things about
the
those
one who
things-
looks like
Oh, a
chick.
400-pound woman laid on him in the aisle.
She's on here.
I-
She's on here. She's a $2 sign.
I think even by 90s sculpting, like if you compare it to Toy Biz X-Men figures that were contemporary.
Terrible.
It's terrible.
We'll
They're
get to
ugly.
They're ugly.
It was a bunch of people just like with Episode 1 and with The Last Jedi who lied to themselves saying they like it,
But
even though it was terrible.
in all fairness, we
Who's right
hadn't
about
seen
Negasonic?
Star
Who's
Wars.
right about Negasonic?
We hadn't seen Star Wars for years. So I can tell you, when I walked into that Walmart and saw a packaged Luke Skywalker, even if he looked like he was doing Road Warrior steroids, I was in, man. I was there. I was right there. I was a victim. They slayed me.
What? No.
I had long sabers, short sabers in the tray, on the tray.
When we saw
Dude.
Toys That Made Us, that episode, they do point that out, how it was astounding how those figures sold so well, even with no move, just like on the promise
We
of the special
were a
releases and
generation.
everything else.
You have to remember, a generation grew up on VHS Star Wars movies
Yeah.
with no toys. So when he walked into the store at 5 years old or 8 years old, and there was a
I wasn't
Chewie,
even walking, I was
well,
3.
you get my point, though. You know, okay, his brother.
Yeah,
You
sure,
know?
yeah, sure.
So
Yeah,
okay,
more.
so let's switch over to some of the other lines.
Let's stay in the 12-inch size range. Marvel Special Edition Series Toy Biz 12-inch figures.
Jesus.
Oh,
Christ.
they're awful.
They've
Oh.
got.
I actually, dude, I actually,
No, we don't want MA.
I actually kind of dig some of the oversized
That's not the
Marvel.
But not with
toy
the
business.
clothing.
Oh, is that right?
This is the
Oh,
clothing.
no, I like the hard plastic
Yeah, these
ones.
are talking about the clothing.
Oh,
ones.
God,
Yeah,
no.
these are the tall 12-inch, not
They're-
the 8-inch.
dude,
kind
the
of scale,
bodies
not
are
the Mego scale.
awful.
They are articulated at the arm,
Yep.
at the leg, and
It's
there's
a Ken
no.
doll.
It's like
It's a
this.
Ken doll.
Not even. Sometimes Ken's head and have
Yeah.
right
Oh my
elbows.
god,
It's
they're
like
like
this.
those Titan figures
The
now
head
that they
goes like
make.
that.
Yeah.
A
Which are
half
awful.
turn if you don't break it off.
And then the worst clothing,
And
nothing
sometimes
fit.
they have jackets and stuff, but
Yeah.
mostly it's just that crappy
Oh,
plastic
my
shit.
God. So-
Gambit, Wolverine,
What- now,
Storm are
give it-
2 stars.
Give us this the
Spider-Man's 2 star.
the-
Black Cat, $3 signs, guys. Black Cat.
Wow.
Wish I had one of them.
Well, you know what? Whenever we get a collection kit comes in, there's 4 black cats in it.
Yeah.
I just realized
You
something.
guys can come and give us $3 signs for it.
10 years from now, kids who have those Titans figures now are going to be going to these type of stores and like, I have this thing for, from
yes.
my childhood. Do you want them?
It's
No.
no.
Yes.
No.
We're gonna just glaze right over that.
Yes.
This is my favorite favorite phrase on this entire page of
Go ahead, go with
amazingness. The Spice Girls dolls have been outselling Beanie Babies at shows across America.
Say that again. That is the 90s in a nutshell.
Oh my
The
God!
Spice
Really?
Girls-
Think about what she's saying.
The Spice Girls have been outselling Beanie Babies at shows across America.
So, all right, we don't normally do this, but you know where we're going this route today. It's once a month we get a phone call.
It's more than
Hello, Farpoint Toys. Hi. Do you buy Beanie Babies?
The rare ones. Remember, I have the ones with the McDonald's bag. Still in the McDonald's bag.
I have a rare Princess Diana Rose.
Guys, just stop. Take your Beanie Babies.
Donate
Here's,
them.
I actually have a
Put them
comment.
with your Hess trucks.
Yeah, I have a comment about this. You put it on me for 1 second. There are a lot of these fake news articles going around.
Oh,
the internet,
on like yeah.
from BuzzFeed
What?
and other
10
pages.
toys that you can retire
10,
on.
10 toys that if you had now, you could retire. And it's always this priceless Beanie Baby, this priceless Tamagotchi. Those articles are crap. They are not well researched. They're not written by Andrew.
And you don't have it.
And whatever the item is, if you do have it, it's an Etch a Sketch. It's cool. It's not worth $27,000.
It was created by an artificial market. And a lot of people, unfortunately, lost a lot of money investing in Beanie Babies with
You ever
the
see that
tags.
picture of the people getting a divorce, splitting their Beanie Baby collection?
It's
No.
hilarious.
It's an actual
Sad.
picture of people on the
In a
floor in a
courtroom.
courtroom splitting a Beanie Baby collection.
Wow.
Yeah, the big problem with these articles is that they're not well researched. People are going on eBay. These clickbait people, no offense, Andrew.
No, that's fine.
You're cut above. You're cut above.
Oh,
Andrew writes clickbait.
I have to.
They go on eBay and just type in stuff, and they see someone's asking $7,000 for this thing.
Yeah, I don't want to get
Just
too
because you're
many.
asking doesn't
Right.
mean that
Nope.
it's.
So let's
the
find.
90s.
Now,
That's the 90s. And women.
They do mention Disney beanbags, which I guess is Disney's version of Beanie
Yes.
Babies, but the coup de grace, the tour de force on this page.
Spice Girl.
That wasn't the Spice Girls Beanie Babies?
No, there's more.
Oh my
Okay.
God!
Star Trek by Playmates.
Oh, God.
But
Before we trash the Star Trek
no,
Playmate line,
I love.
you are a
Star
next
Trek.
gener. You
I mean,
love
Farpoint
it.
is named after Star Trek. We
Right.
love Star Trek. We are fans.
And you guys actually, your
Yes.
first dates, it's one of the things that you guys had in common was next gen.
Yeah.
I mean, so we all here, I can't speak for Andrew. I love Star Trek.
We just had a conversation about Zephyr Cochran in 5 minutes.
Right. And I want to be clear, the Playmates line was fantastic.
Yep, it's an underrated line.
It's an
because
underrated
it's so
The
vast,
sculpts are great.
The problem
it
is
has a vast amount of
There's
variants.
millions of them.
and no one opened them.
But
No,
the problem,
they got the numbers.
yes,
Hold on.
the
So wait,
biggest
hold on.
problem.
Wait,
The biggest problem with the Playmates line is not, the sculpts were great, the variants were great, everything was awesome, everything was well painted. Every toy had a number on the bottom of the foot. But it was like 1 of 7 million. The numbers didn't matter, and everybody bought a bunch of them thinking that it mattered, and it was going
Is
to be
that what
great.
those things are?
Yeah.
And they're not
Those are numbers.
special numbers.
Wait, and then this is something that Penelope wouldn't know. 2 things that really
I have number 1701.
Yeah,
Check what I have.
This
That's the
destroyed the line.
Yeah.
They did something really shitty. Playmates issued the same figures in Canada unnumbered. So that made everything bullshit. And then the other thing was they issued 3 anniversary figures from the they made literally 1701 of each figure.
Yep.
As soon as people that literally within 3 months, $100 rare Geordie went to being worth $5
I think it was Tasha and
Doesn't matter.
Picard and somebody.
and Barkley. I
Yep.
think. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wait, hold
Oh
on.
my God, Barkley, really?
Yeah. No one
really
cared
quick,
about
'cause
him.
We're running really late, so we got to wrap it up soon. But I want to tell Frank doesn't know this. So Justin and Penelope did something super kind, but it also is awful for me because of just my awful personality. This is my fault. It's not theirs. They were kind enough to bequeath to me 4 Star Trek Next Generation figures.
Okay.
They gave me a Borg, Troya, George. We did it in one of
I love those things.
Now he's sitting there thinking they're giving away my product.
No, I'm thinking, man, I'm glad they gave away those
No,
things.
so yeah,
I love
so,
those figures.
Frank, you know my personality. You know how I collect.
You love them figures. Man.
I like them a lot.
They're awesome
No.
figures.
So
How
guess
about
what
the
I-
array of weapons?
Yeah, sure. No, but guess
Oh,
what
no.
I did? Guess what I did after that?
Oh, no.
started looking
oh,
for
no.
I-
Oh, no.
My eBay searches are like,
No, that's cool, man. I find that. No, but
Don't pay more than $2.
You know, No, but here's the thing. Wait, let's be. Andrew,
you for more than 2
Andrew
years.
is truly a collector. He's not buying Borg figures because he cares what they're worth tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's buying them because he loves the show.
Which is what collecting should be.
Should be.
Sure.
So you get so much props on that.
Well, thank you, but my thing is financially speaking.
Well, dude,
I don't need another.
Hey,
line.
there's a bunch in the $5 bin.
they're literally.
I bought a cue from you.
They're,
That's what I'm
oh, dude, don't charge
Q
him.
who?
You can't charge him for that.
I didn't know he did. I don't know.
They are literally dollar figures.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will look for you. Let me know who you need. Let me know
Yeah,
who
cool.
you need.
Thank you.
I literally have boxes of them.
I know you do.
All right. So on that,
Let's.
And they were rated $2 and $3 signs.
Okay,
they are certainly not rated $2 and
we're
$3.
going to go. Last but not least, I got to read this. Penelope's going to get a kick out of this. I want this is the final thing of our 20-year. What was it like 20 years ago to be collecting? This is an actual. There's many in here. Pre-eBay or early eBay, people would sell their toys.
They would take an ad out in a magazine.
Some guys I know, a guy named Josh up in North Jersey, made a great living doing it. Here's an ad from a guy. I just picked one randomly. Cincinnati Sci-Fi. It's got Spawn. He's got the Playmates. He's got some Sailor Moon. Everything that you would expect. But let me show you how times have changed. For $40 even, you could get a mint-carded Lion-O. LJN. You could get a rare Mumbra with Cheetor and Panther, $35 each, mint on card.
Oh my god!
So things.
So this is the reverse
This
of
is
what
the
we were
reverse.
just talking
Now
about.
let me go the other way with it. Where was
Can
it?
he have still have a phone number? Is there still a phone number there?
No, there was one. No, yeah, I don't think he's gonna do it.
You're like a really disturbing voice on the other end.
Loose near mint yak face, $75. Okay.
So you know how when people,
Wow, that tells you something, though.
Yes.
you know how when people talk about, if I had a time machine, I'd go back in time and kill Hitler as a baby. I would go back in time and buy a bunch of toys at Toys R Us.
Yes. Yeah.
So instead of making the world a better place,
No, yeah, well, it would be a better place.
Here we go. Beast Wars Iguanas, mint on card, $8.
That's basically the same.
yeah, he's
Beast
not much
Wars
more.
is
Yeah,
not-
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
8 to 11.
Okay.
Right.
So anyway, you just see that for all the duds in
Well,
there, there were things if you were smart in the 90s.
Well, because
Star Wars.
Well, let's put it this way: the things that were worth money then
Right.
were the '80s toys,
These people
not the
should be
'90s
shot.
toys. Yeah, I want whoever wrote that.
I want to talk to
I think
them.
he works in the Trump administration. He's his press secretary.
No, but Frank, one of my favorite stories Frank's got great stories. You told me a story once. I forget the backdrop and the context, and I don't want to say too much. But like, you were in a situation where you could have bought walls of Generation 1 Transformers.
Yep.
Half off, right? Or something.
70% off.
70%
Yeah,
off.
G.I. Joe, the yellow line. Remember with the Tiger Force?
Python Patrol and Tiger Force.
I should have bought those jets by the case.
I remember the story.
Anyway, we're not going to get into it, but we're going to leave this.
Well, it's
here's
just the same
here's
thing.
an actual price guide, not an inventory. This piece I know recently sold for multiple thousands
rare
of dollars.
as shit. That piece.
You could one of these sold in '98 for $450. Today, I think it's about $10,000. So if you were buying this stuff then, you were doing pretty good.
But it's a crapshoot, right? Well, I mean,
Well, you got. My point is, dude, and
Is that three price? Is that three price stickers on that? Is that $3 signs?
no, this
So
is
for about the price of 7 Star Trek figures back then, you could have bought this.
right. Yeah, 7 rare. And what do they say in here? It's funny. Mask Kenner's '80s line mask has been becoming increasingly popular.
that for a decade.
Yeah,
it
man.
really hasn't come around.
It really has.
It's everybody's like mask is about to have its due. Mask is
okay, hold on. It's again, and this is just me.
vintage Star
14
Wars.
issues of comics is at least something. The past IDW series that we had. That was at least more than.
It hasn't done anything for the toys though.
100% not.
Look, R2D2 with pop-up lightsaber carded mint 200.
We'll give you 4 for a
I'll buy
loose
that.
one. We'll give you 4 for a loose one.
I'll pay for as a reseller,
A reseller.
for a loose
I
one.
just realized that into the new millennium, we've had
Okay.
2 new Max toys. They're both Matt Tracker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're done.
Long one today, guys.
Yep, long story.
Everybody wave.
Bye.
Thanks for watching
You
Fridays with
enjoyed
Andrew.
the show.
We'll be back next week.
That was fun.
Yep.